我抓住他！
In the middle of wide, quiet rice fields, Ye Liang spots a man pretending to be a farmer. But something doesn't sit right. The way the man moves, sharp, calculated, reveals too much. Ye Liang quickly senses the truth. This is no farmer. He's one of the killers behind the assassination of Seng Yen, a high-ranking figure from Villa Hutong. The man strikes with a hoe, but the fight is brief. Ye Liang takes him down without hesitation. Without delay, Ye Liang heads to the home of Bu Tong, a powerful official in the capital. It becomes clear, Seng Yen, Bu Tong, and Ye Liang were once brothers in arms at Villa Hutong. But now, that bond is broken. At the estate, Bu Tong is threatening Seng Yen's daughter Feng Yen, demanding a keepsake left by her father. When she refuses, Bu Tong goes further. He hangs her by the neck to force her hand. Still, she won't give in. Just then, Ye Liang arrives. The guards call him a traitor, but it doesn't slow him down. With ruthless efficiency, he cuts through them. Then, carrying a coffin, he confronts Bu Tong. What he sees confirms everything. Bu Tong is behind Seng Yen's death. Under pressure, Bu Tong lets Feng Yen go, though the noose still dangles. Before Ye Liang can reach her, Bu Tong's men rush in to stop her. The battle is far from over. Ye Liang starts to fight, but quickly changes course when he sees Feng Yen's life still hanging by a thread. He stops wasting time. Instead of finishing the battle, he grabs Bu Tong's assistant, Feng Er, and locks her inside the coffin he brought. Then he escapes with Feng Yen in his arms, leaving chaos behind. Furious, Bu Tong responds with force. He puts a bounty on Ye Liang and Feng Yen's heads, spreading lies across the capital. He claims Ye Liang killed Seng Yen and is now fleeing justice. Every martial artist is ordered to hunt them down. Soon a soldier reports a sighting near the western border. But Bu Tong isn't fooled. He's convinced Ye Liang is nearby, hiding out while tending to Feng Yen's injuries. She's hurt, and that means they can't be far. Bu Tong tracks them to a physician's home. The doctor refuses to help, which only raises more suspicion. Bu Tong presses harder, offering money and spinning a lie. He claims Feng Yen is his kidnapped daughter. The doctor falls for it and confesses Ye Liang had come for help and already left. Without hesitation, Bu Tong stabs the man in the gut.
你不是江湖人士，害你枉死。
No warning, no mercy, one less witness. And so the hunt becomes something more. In a land torn by betrayal and blood, one man carries the last hope for justice. He wasn't just running anymore, he was wanted. On the other hand, Ye Liang reaches Ling Ling's home, carrying the wounded and shaken Feng Yen. Though safe for now, Feng Yen remains haunted by what Bu Tong did. Then a messenger pigeon arrives. The message is clear. Bu Tong has found them. There's no time to waste. Ling Ling urges Ye Liang to flee with Feng Yen to the wheat fields. He's the only one who can protect her now. She stays behind, ready to buy them time. Not long after, Bu Tong shows up with Feng Er. Finding the house empty, he orders Feng Er to search the area. At that moment, Ling Ling calmly invites him in and offers tea. But Bu Tong doesn't trust her. He suspects poison. To prove him wrong, Ling Ling drinks first. As the tea settles, Bu Tong taunts her. Enraged, Ling Ling grabs her sword and strikes, but her strength fails. She collapses. The tea was poisoned after all, her own choice. Bu Tong wastes no time. His men drag Ling Ling into town, humiliating her in front of the crowds, a warning to anyone who would dare protect Ye Liang. Then, Ye Liang suddenly appears. He's come to save her, but instead he walks into a trap. His presence only helps Bu Tong spin more lies, painting him as the villain once again. With no proof to clear his name, Ye Liang had no way to stop the lies. Surrounded by soldiers, he chose the only option left: fight.
给我抓住他！
As swords clashed around him, Ling Ling found the strength to rise. Wounded and fading, she helped Feng Yen escape. Soon they reached the wheat fields, but they weren't alone. Feng Er had tracked them. A brutal fight broke out. Ling Ling, still weak from the poison, fought hard but was no match. In a final act of defiance, she grabbed Feng Er's leg, refusing to let her pass. Feng Er responded with a blade. Ling Ling fell. Ye Liang arrived too late. He found her body, lifeless in the grass. Rage took over. In one blow, he killed Feng Er where she stood.
当初你们要让不然死的时候，我就发誓。
非杀不可！
原来之后，没想到去地了性命。
That night, 2 funerals were held, one by Butong, one by city officials. Afterward, Butong stood before his army and allies. It became clear he had recently taken over the position once held by Seng Yen. Before dying, Seng Yen had tried to expose Butong's crimes. Even as brothers, he wouldn't let corruption stand. Butong silenced him with murder. Now in power, Butong's aggressive hunt for Ye Liang had drawn backlash. Leaders questioned the cost, too many soldiers had died, and there was still no real proof against Ye Liang. Furious at the challenge, Butong answered with blood, striking down one of his own in plain sight. The sudden killing shocked the other city officials. Fear spread if word of Butong's actions reached the kingdom, there would be consequences. But Butong didn't back down. Instead, he doubled the bounty on Ye Liang, pushing even more martial artists into the chase. Meanwhile, Ye Liang and Feng Yen reached a quiet tea house. But something was wrong. The waiter didn't recognize the tea Ye Liang ordered. It was a trap. The waiter was a disguised assassin sent for Feng Yen. In seconds, Ye Liang was surrounded. Outnumbered but undeterred, he cut them all down. Later, while crossing a bridge, a ragged man stepped forward. Liu Zhen, one of the capital's 10 most skilled fighters. He wasn't hunting for gold, he had a debt to pay. Butong had once saved his father's life, and now he was here to return the favor. Ye Liang had no choice but to accept the challenge. But as blades clashed, Feng Yen stepped into the open. Ye Liang stopped fighting, choosing her safety over his own. Liu Zhen, moved by her presence and reminded of his own lost daughter, held back. He let them go, offering to continue the duel only after Ye Liang got her to safety. Later, Liu Zhen met with Butong to make his stance clear. He would no longer take part in the manhunt. Chasing an orphaned girl went against everything a true martial artist stood for. Butong didn't care. Without hesitation, he replaced Liu Zhen with someone far more dangerous, Yao Bu, Ye Liang's former senior from their old martial school. To keep Liu Zhen from interfering, Yao Bu used something personal, a keepsake from Liu Zhen's late daughter. The moment Liu Zhen lowered his guard, Yao Bu struck, one fatal stab. With Liu Zhen dead, Butong offered Yao Bu a golden city in return for eliminating Ye Liang. Yao Bu agreed without question. His first move, visit Master Fu. Disguised as Ye Liang, he tried to fool the old master, but Master Fu saw through him. Exposed, Yao Bu launched a poisoned dart and fled. Back at Butong's estate, Yao Bu revealed his plan. The poison he used wasn't ordinary. It would slowly grow deadlier inside the victim over time. Then, to set the trap, he leaked word that Master Fu was dying. He knew Ye Liang's loyalty would bring him running, and when he did, Yao Bu would be waiting to kill both him and Feng Yen. Butong was pleased. The bait was set. Meanwhile, Feng Yen was getting worse. Fever took hold, her body weakening, her dreams filled with visions of her father's death. Ye Liang, desperate to help her, rushed into the city for medicine. As he left the clinic, he heard whispers. Master Fu was seriously ill. Fearing a trap, but unable to turn away, Ye Liang set out to see his old master, unaware of what was waiting ahead. When Ye Liang arrived, he was met with a warm welcome from Master Fu, who looked perfectly healthy. As they spoke, Ye Liang opened up about life on the run. But Master Fu already knew about the bounty, about the betrayal, and about Yao Bu leading the hunt. Trying to ease his mind, Master Fu asked Ye Liang to prepare a meal and offered to look after Feng Yen. But she refused. She wasn't leaving Ye Liang's side. When the food was ready, Master Fu gently urged Feng Yen to eat. But something felt wrong. His tone, his timing, the way he seemed to expect Ye Liang's arrival. It didn't add up. Trusting his gut, Ye Liang struck. The disguise fell apart. It wasn't Master Fu, it was Yao Bu. Blades clashed across the table as the two former brothers-in-arms turned the peaceful setting into a battlefield. The fight turned brutal. Ye Liang reached for the sword once gifted to him by the real Master Fu and managed to push Yao Bu back. But his strength began to fade. The poison had already entered his body, passed to him when Yao Bu touched Feng Yan's head. Weakened and off balance, Ye Liang was quickly overpowered. Moments later, Yao Bu raised his blade to finish it, but Feng Yan acted fast, creating just enough of a distraction for them to slip away. Their escape didn't last long. Yao Bu caught them at the edge of a cliff. With Ye Liang barely standing, Yao Bu offered a deal: hand over the sword in exchange for the antidote and safe passage for both of them. Ye Liang didn't trust him, but he had no choice. He gave up the sword. The moment it changed hands, Yao Bu struck, throwing a hidden needle to kill them. Ye Liang and Feng Yan had no option but to leap off the cliff to survive. By dawn, Yao Bu returned to Butong and declared victory. He handed over Ye Liang's sword as proof they were dead. Butong, satisfied, asked for the list. Yao Bu froze. He had no idea what Butong meant. Noticing his confusion, Butong kept his tone calm and invited him to eat. Suspicious, Yao Bu hesitated, but agreed after watching Butong drink the wine himself. As they dined, Butong slid a chest of gold across the table. The reward was ready, but something wasn't right. Yao Bu stayed alert, drinking the wine but refusing the food. It didn't matter. Minutes later, the poison took hold. His body weakened fast. Across the table, Butong remained calm. His own meal had been laced with the antidote. The trap was set, and it worked. Far from the capital, Ye Liang had survived. His real master, Master Fu, had saved him. As he recovered, Feng Yan, after all she had seen, finally trusted him. She gave him the list her father died protecting. The truth came out. Seng Yan had uncovered a ring of corrupt merchants working with Butong. Together, they smuggled goods to foreign buyers for personal profit. Seng Yan had planned to report them to the imperial court. Butong, claiming it was all for Villa Hutong's future, silenced him to protect the scheme. Now, with proof in hand, Ye Liang was closer to justice, but not ready to face Butong. The poison had left him weak. To prepare him, Master Fu pushed him into intense training, rebuilding his strength and resistance. Day by day, Ye Liang fought through the pain. When the time came, he was ready. But for Feng Yan, it was different. Ye Liang wasn't just her protector anymore. He was her last family, and letting him walk into danger again felt like losing everything all over again. At dawn, Butong met privately with a high-ranking imperial official, an old ally who knew the truth behind the merchant's list. But this time, the official drew a line. If the list became public, his protection would end. Butong reassured him, claiming both Ye Liang and Feng Yan were already dead. That lie didn't last long. Before the official could leave, a soldier burst in. Ye Liang was alive. Worse, he had the list. Panic took over. Butong promised to handle it himself, but the official no longer trusted him. He ordered a loyal soldier to accompany Butong with one mission. If he failed, he was to be executed immediately. As they parted, Butong offered the official a cup of tea, his personal blend, brewed for this very moment. Meanwhile, in the courtyard, Ye Liang made his move. He exposed the list, names of corrupt merchants tied directly to Butong. The soldier sent by the official stepped in to arrest Ye Liang, but Butong acted first, killing him on the spot. That single act exposed his guilt. Ye Liang responded with finality. Whatever remained of their brotherhood was gone. He attacked. The battle was brutal. At first, Butong held the advantage. His iron body technique made him nearly unstoppable. But Ye Liang remembered Master Fu's teachings. Butong's strength had a limit. His technique absorbed his own power, building pressure with every strike. If pushed hard enough, that pressure would break him from the inside. Ye Liang held his ground, taking every blow as Butong pushed his body past its limits. Then came the breaking point. Exhausted and exposed, Butong left an opening, and Ye Liang didn't hesitate. Trapped but determined, he drove his blade into Butong's throat, ending it for good. Elsewhere, the imperial official who backed Butong paid the price. Trusting Butong's tea was his final mistake. The poison did its job. With the official dead and the merchant list in hand, the truth could no longer be buried. Butong's entire network collapsed. After the fight, Ye Liang returned to Master Fu's home. But it was too late. The slow poison Yao Bu had used had finished its work. Master Fu was gone. Left with nothing, Ye Liang and Feng Yan stood alone, survivors of betrayal, loss, and war. But they didn't give in. Together, they stepped into the unknown, choosing to carry on. Their old lives were gone, but a new journey had begun. And with that, their story came to an end. So the moral of the story is, always bring a coffin to reunions or awkward ex-friend confrontations, because you never know who's dying to get in.